Hi, and welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. Tonight we're talking about indicators of past lives. So we've all had snippets of our past life before, but quite often we just didn't recognise it as being so. So, how many times have you said, "Oh, I really have this strong desire to travel to this country," or "I love to read information about this country. I need to find out everything I can. I love to look at pictures of this country. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. I just need to be there. I just need to go there." That's a really good indicator that you've actually lived a life there before. You could even have be traveling through different countries and just find that one particular place just really grabs at your heart and really says, I feel so comfortable here. I could live here. It feels like home. You may not be able to put your finger on it, but it's a really good indicator of that you've had a life there. Another one could be also about a particular country, is that if you have a strong emotional reaction to perhaps historical or past events, perhaps like a war or a famine, or any kind of event that's happened in the past that you may read about or even remember. That's a really good indicator, because you think, well, why am I getting so worked up about it? Why am I so emotional or passionate about it, when there's so many other things that are worse than that, or just as bad, or are very similar, but it doesn't really have that same meaning. So a specific historical time in history can bring up memories. It might even be an old style car, or the love of a horse and cart, or perhaps the old style of housing. You don't have to go way back in history. You can just go back 50 years, 100 years, something like that, because it's not unusual. Hello to everyone saying hello. It's not unusual for a soul to die and come back super quick. Now, you can come back within hours of passing. In a new life, you can come back hundreds of years later. So that's why, you perhaps say you're 20 years old, and you might really have an affinity of something that happened in the 50s or 60s. It's not that long ago, but you could very well have lived in that life as well. Another thing is, what are your passions? Why, how many times have you or is somebody that just picked up an instrument and they just automatically know how to play it? Or they pick something up really quickly. They can pick up a language really quickly. This is another good indicator that the language is a good indicator of perhaps of where they might have lived, or the language used in that time. But another good indicator is, it might be a guitar, but that's a modern version of instrument. But look at the other stringed instruments that are also played, that they may have played in the past. That's one of their passions that they've had in the past. We have lots of talents that maybe we have untapped. Maybe you're a really good writer, but you've never given yourself the opportunity to actually explore that, to even know that you're a good writer. Because maybe you were an author in a past life. Maybe you were someone that journaled forever in a past life. Anything like that, that just comes naturally without even trying, is an indicator of what you have done previously. And it's something that you're good at. And traits carry on from life to life. We don't necessarily lose them. What about unexplained fears and phobias? Like, you might have a fear of water. You don't know why, You just don't like the water. You don't want to go near that water because perhaps you've drowned in the water before. Perhaps you've seen someone drown. Perhaps you've fallen off a boat, anything like that. Fire even. You might have lost your house in a fire. You might have even been burnt at the stake, for being a witch. All these things that, are unexplained as to why we feel the way we do and we don't know why is because we've experienced it before. What about birthmarks? Like birthmarks, moles, things like that are often said that that's wherever that mark is where you've had not just a wound from the past, but it could actually be that the fatal spot where, the arrow went in that killed you. You may have had a gunshot that's where you've had that injury before, and that's why now it's that scar, it's that memory that's always carrying through of that injury or that fatal wound. So you're always bearing the brunt of your scars and your wounds, and especially if they're unhealed, you'll continue to be born with some memory, a physical memory of that wound or that injury or that fatal shot. Connection with people. So you might have an instant dislike to somebody and you don't know why. You've just met this person or you've just seen this person. You may not even have spoken to this person yet. Automatically, you don't like them, and you haven't given them a chance to even like to be liked. It's quite often that you've had a past life with them and you did not get along. Now, you could have had a past life with, anybody that we've mixed with could have come back. Say you can come back. You could be your own mother in another life. You can be male or female. You can be a friend. Jeanette, you're asking why is that? I'm not sure what you're asking. Why is that? To what's the question? So if you want to pop that question up. So you could be, you could be your uncle next time. You could be your best friend next time. You could be your sister. You'll come back as somebody that you need to learn that lesson with. And the same with meeting people for the first time that, you just instantly, you just hit it off. It's as if, you've known this person forever and you're just picking up from one lifetime to another. That conversation, it's like that conversation never stopped. And other times you'll just, you'll be able to finish each other's sentences because you know each other that well. Deja vu is another indicator of a past life. You just have that feeling that you've been there before. You've seen this place before. You've done this before. Now, deja vu, it's quite often that you have had that experience before, but it could also be that you've dreamt of this situation or this situation before, or it's that memory. And we may not understand it, or it might be you've walked on that place before, something like that. Even though it might look very different, you've walked on this land, or perhaps it's something very similar, and that triggers something within you. It triggers feelings, it triggers emotions, and it triggers, just that sight might be a reminder. So Jeanette, you're asking why is it that you instantly can dislike somebody? It's because it's like a hangover from the past life that you didn't like that person, you didn't get along in the past. So, instantly that person. You're not going to look the same, but energy knows energy. So you instantly know that person is somebody that you've disliked in the past, that you've had a disagreement with, you just really didn't get along. You've perhaps got bad karma with, anything like that. Misplaced memories is another good one. You might have memories but think, well, I've got these memories of events happening or these feelings or something like that, but you can't place them in your own life. You can't find how they fit in within the timeline. It's because those memories are still with you, and you know those memories are coming up for a reason. They've come up. Why do you have the same dream for a few nights? Because it's a repetitive dream, and repetitive dreams are trying to get your attention. Misplaced memories that you're carrying them through because there's something you need to learn from that memory. There's something that you're being reminded of. Unexplained pain is another indicator. You know, you've got this pain or this illness or something's going on. You go to the doctor, they've done all these tests, but there's nothing wrong. And perhaps that pain is, it might feel very physical, and it actually comes on as very physical, but it's emotional pain that's just sitting in that spot because it's representing something that needs to be healed, something needs to be changing within you, and it's a past life memory. You know, quite often it's not unusual for someone to have had a limb amputated in a past life, and yet in this life, they can still feel that pain of that limb being amputated. So there's no real reason, but you know what it means is that maybe they just needed to accept what happened to them, like actually losing the limb, accept the situation. Quite often just knowing a past life finds, you know, it brings so much healing because you can see, now I can understand the why this is happening to me and why I'm feeling that. And then you can realize that, you know what, it's in the past. I can leave that in the past because it's not happening now. So it really does, knowing your past lives can often bring a lot of resolve. But really, you know, the past lives that come up for you now are only, I mean, we've had so many. We can have hundreds and hundreds of past lives, possibly even thousands of past lives. But we're not going to have all of them come up. Only the ones that have something for us to learn from are going to come up. Jeanette, you're asking why are you having that dream? But I don't know, because I don't know what that dream is or what it's trying to tell you, but that's for you to work out. So you're going to have to look deeper, but that's not what we're talking about tonight, because we're talking about past lives. The one last thing that I want to talk about under the indicators of past life is that you might have a dream about your own past life. Your setting and scene and all the people within this dream might have been from your past life, because you know we're very open when we're asleep. We're in that dream state. It's our conscious mind shuts down and our subconscious mind comes to the front. And you know, if we need to process something from the past, perhaps that's the best indicator. That's the best indicator for us to process, because we can actually see it playing out before us. So that's a scene from a past life, perhaps. So I hope that I'm just checking my notes, and I think I've pretty much covered everything that I've had down. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight on indicators of past lives. I hope that you've enjoyed that, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.